A Republican strategist and publisher of The Bulwark by the name of Sarah Longwell appeared on CNN this week with Jake Tapper and a couple other people were on the panel, where Longwell absolutely tore into the Trump campaign as being one of the most vicious, despicable, and lie-filled campaigns that she has ever seen. And yes, that is a direct quote. I am not paraphrasing and I am not putting words in her mouth. That is actually what she said, along with many other things. So, what prompted Sarah Longwell, again a Republican strategist, to just tear into the Trump campaign? Well, it all goes back to what Sarah Huckabee Sanders said in Flint, Michigan this past week. And if you didn't catch my previous segment on that, let me give you the shortened version where Sarah Huckabee Sanders said, "My kids keep me humble. Unfortunately, Kamala Harris doesn't have anything keeping her humble." Even though she is, of course, a stepmother to 2 children. At that point, Jake Tapper, host, went to Michaela Carr, who was a former litigation assistant, or former general counsel, to Kevin McCarthy. Michaela, let's go to you first. What do you have to say about these horrible comments from Sarah Huckabee Sanders? Now, Carr downplayed it, and she said, quote, "I heard the comment and I listened to it because it was pointed out. I think what came before that was a woman talking about wanting to fight for her family and fight for her children and trying to stay humble." And then Tapper jumps in and he says, "You really don't think she was trying to point out that Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, doesn't have biological children?" And Carr said, "I don't think that that's how people think, and I didn't hear that until it was told to me that this is how we're going to discuss it," which, of course, I've seen on TV all day. But what she followed it up with was the failed policies of the Biden-Harris administration. So, even though she specifically mentioned Kamala Harris doesn't have anything keeping her humble, but Sarah Huckabee Sanders said she does because she has kids, and then immediately said Harris doesn't have that, Carr still went out there, lied her ass off, saying, "I don't think it's about Harris. I don't think she's talking about kids." She literally said it. "You're a liar." And before I lose my cool, let me read you Sarah Longwell's response to what Carr said, because that's what set her off. First of all, I don't know how you can interpret her comments any other way. But more importantly than that, J.D. Vance has been going on every weird bro podcast to make sure to talk about not just childless cat ladies, that's almost the funny part, but also that women in abusive relationships should stay in those relationships. The way that they defend people like Laura Loomer, who are talking about how if Kamala Harris is in the White House, it's going to smell like curry, this has become the way that they are currently terrorizing the people of Springfield with their racist smear about eating dogs and cats. Like, this is the most vicious, despicable, lie-filled campaign I have ever seen. And that is comparing it to what was a pretty significant, indecent campaign that Donald Trump ran in 2016 and 2020. So I do think that if Michaela Carr had not been so flippant about it and said, "No, she didn't say what she said," maybe Longwell would not have kind of lost her cool there, rightfully so. Like, I believe every word she said. I agree with every word she said. And just like me, when I talked about Sarah Huckabee Sanders' comment, it's hard to discuss it without getting super pissed. But it hits a little different when it's coming from a Republican strategist like Sarah Longwell. But she's absolutely right. The Trump campaign, as they get more cornered, right, as they see the election start to slip away, they have become more extreme. They're relying more on lies and conspiracy theories, and the base is eating them up. But the rest of the public is paying the price for it. Springfield, Ohio, of course, is a phenomenal example. 33 bomb threats in a week. 33. Whole town is basically living as a police state as they try to flush out all of these Republican terrorists. And it all came from the disgusting racist lies pushed by Trump and Vance. And here we are. This is the most despicable campaign I've ever seen. It is the most vicious, and it is the most lie-filled. Because that is all they have to rely on, because they can't talk about anything else. They can't run on policy. Trump is physically incapable of talking about policy and actually staying on subject. It's just a bunch of wackadoos, a bunch of weirdos, making up lies to scare people into voting for them. Hi everyone, this here is little Athena, and Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet, so please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.